Hi, welcome to Live Aligned Pilates. I'm Liv and today we have a full body wall Pilates workout suitable for all levels of fitness. All you need is a nice sturdy wall and yourself, no equipment required. Now make sure to take breaks, listen to your body and modify any exercises if you need to. So let's get started lying down on our back. Now you have to figure out where you need to lie down along the mat so that your legs are in a nice tabletop position. Stepping your feet out slightly wider than hip distance apart, opening your arms into a cactus, resting them against the floor. Starting to rock your knees gently side to side, slowing down the breath. Nice deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Taking a nice rotation through the spine as we loosen up and open our hips and lower back. If you would like to turn your gaze to the opposite direction, you'll start to bring some mobility in through the neck. Beautiful. Here for 3, 2, coming back to the center on 1. Bringing your arms down by your side now, palms flat, and just stepping your feet in, back to hip distance apart. Moving into your bent knee fallouts, you want to keep your foot against the wall but slide your right knee open as far as you can before you start to feel your hips rock off towards the side. Then engaging through your core, draw your leg back to that tabletop position just above the hip. Let's go over to the other side. Let your left knee slide out against the wall. Try not to lift your right side hip off the mat. And then use those core muscles to bring your leg back to that starting position. If you're feeling a little bit wobbly here, like you can't help but rock over, bring your arms wider and press your palms firmly down in towards the floor. Keeping your shoulders down away from your ears and pressing the entire upper back into the mat and just gently drawing the lower back down just to stabilize through the torso. We're not pushing our feet into the wall at the moment, we're just lightly resting them so our foot easily slides. And you're just feeling a little bit of tension build between your hip bones. Notice if your ribs are popping open, try and draw them down towards your hips. And a good exhale breath is always helpful to do that. Here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, good job, and 1, coming back to the center. Now we want our feet to find hip distance apart again, arms coming back down the side. Let's come into some glute bridges, tucking your tailbone under and rolling your hips up towards the ceiling as you press your feet in towards the wall, squeeze your glutes and your hamstrings. Slowly roll down through the upper back, middle back, lower back, and finally the tailbone touches the mat. Let's do that again. Roll the hips up, big squeeze, lifting up. Try and think nice long line from the knees all the way through to the shoulders, and then contracting through your core as you roll down slowly. Really drive down through your heels as you lift your hips up so that you can get all the way down the back of the leg there. You may need to do some adjusting with this position just to feel more comfortable for your body. Maybe your legs are a little longer or shorter, so you might need to be closer to the wall if your legs are shorter or further away from the wall if you've got longer legs. If you're really feeling this one through your low back, just roll down and take a little reset. Also making sure that you are tucking your tailbone under and squeezing your glutes as much as possible. You also may be too far away from the wall if you're still feeling it there through the low back, so shift a little closer. Just a few more here, and we're going to ramp up the intensity. Let's do 2 more. That's it. And 1 more. Good, rolling down. Now float your right leg into tabletop. Single leg glute bridge, roll all the way up, extend your right leg to the sky, roll down, bring it back to tabletop. Really squeeze that left glute, lift the hips, roll down. Pressing up and down, really good. The breath is super helpful when it gets challenging. I like to use an exhale on that effort of lifting. You have 3 more here, you can do it. Really get those hips up. Now guess what? We have to hold. So next time you roll up, hold that glute bridge, lower your leg down towards the wall, tap, and lift. Lower and lift. Really push your left foot in towards the wall, squeeze your glutes to lift up. 2 more. Last one. Right leg to the ceiling, pulse the hips up and up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll down. Wow, good job. Shake out that left leg because we need to do the right side and even out. Bringing your left leg into tabletop, arms by the side. Your right foot is nice and flat in that tabletop position but against the wall. Press down through the right heel, squeeze the glute, roll the hips up and roll down. Now as you lift, extending your left leg nice and long with intention so that it's not just flailing around in the air there. That's it. Big squeeze and lift. We're halfway there, we have 5 more. Try and lift up just as high every single time. 4, 3, good job, 2. Now we have to hold on 1. Lift those hips up. Lower the left foot, tap towards the wall and sweep back to the ceiling. Lower and lift. 4 more. Trying not to drop the hips. 3, 2, pulses on 1. Lift the leg to the sky, pulse the hips up and up for 4, 3, 2, press into the wall, 1, roll down, good job. Maybe rock those knees side to side once again. Now if you slid away from the wall, just come a bit closer. We're moving into some abs now and we want to start with our feet. Once again, hip distance apart, hands coming behind the head, elbows wide, and just draw those shoulders on down away from the ears. Take a nice deep inhale, breath into the lungs. Exhale, chin to chest, lift up into a curl. Inhale down, exhale, lift, and down, and up. Now let's create a bit of resistance for our legs here by pressing our feet firmly against the wall. Try to keep your tailbone down in towards the mat. We're not pressing so hard that our pelvis tucks under. So we're maintaining a neutral spine here. Good. Really trying to peel those shoulders off the mat. Thinking ribs to hips as you curl. Good, let's do 3, 2, 1, and rest, come on down. Legs stay where they are in tabletop, but they shift in a little closer towards one another. We also lift the heels, so we're on the toes, on the balls of the feet. Hands come back behind the head, elbows nice and wide. Let's curl up. Let's extend our right leg to the ceiling, hold it there, extend the left, hold it there. Now we'll place the right foot down first, the left foot down second, and then we'll bring our head down, take a breath in to reset. This time you curl up, the left leg will extend first, the right leg second, the left foot goes down, the right foot goes down, and our head comes down. So we're going to keep going here, and we'll really try to alternate which leg is going to lead the way. Ultimately, It doesn't matter too much if you get confused, as long as you're holding your curl while you're doing it and you're really stretching those legs nice and long. Now on this one, we're not resting our feet too firmly against the wall. We're just lightly touching with the toes for that reset. And this is going to really work in through those lower abdominal muscles. Really try and keep those shoulder blades lifted as your legs are extending. Amazing. Now we're going to do one more and keep our legs up towards the ceiling here. Let's turn our toes out, flex our feet and point. Flex and point. Every time you point, can you tap towards the wall, flex, pull it back. Point, tap, flex, pull it back. It's tricky. If you would like to rest your head down, you totally can. If you need to support your low back, tuck your thumbs and fingers underneath your hips. Otherwise, hold that curl. You've got this. 3 more. We get to rest those feet again. Into. Good. Last one. Rest the feet. Turn them back to parallel. Pop your head down for a moment. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, release. Good. So we have one more here on our back for these abs. Hands are coming back behind the head, elbows wide. Now let's just start with the legs. So just pulling one knee in towards the chest and extending back to rest on the wall. Alternating here. Try and exhale as you pull that knee in. Now you could make this a little bit more challenging by just shuffling your body slightly further away from the wall so your legs are at a lower angle. Another way to make this harder is to curl up and bring nose to knee. So we say nose to knee because we really want to lift the upper body to meet that leg rather than knee to nose, where you might be tempted to keep the chest down a bit more. So really bring that nose right up towards your knee. It doesn't have to touch. You'd be pretty flexible if it did. Okay. Now if you'd like to hold your curl, just that knee pull and pull. If it feels better for the neck, reach your arms long. You pick. You take your pick, it's your class. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest, bring those arms up and overhead. Take a nice deep inhale into the belly. And relax, release, good job. All right, we're rolling over onto our side. I will mirror you now so that you can see what we're doing on this first side. So you're coming over onto your left here. You're going to lie all the way down, keeping this bottom elbow bent with the head resting in the hand. Now we're bringing our bottom foot flat against the wall. We don't want it just resting on the floor here. We actually want to use this inner thigh and lift the leg up about 10 centimeters. Now I actually have a skirting board that is a great guide, so you might have that as well. Otherwise, just lift it slightly off the floor, press the foot in towards the wall, and your top leg will stack just above. The foot will have to stay flexed so it doesn't rub the wall here. And we're just going to lift and lower. Now alternatively, you could lie down here, but we're just going to come up here if possible and try and stay really engaged through the upper body and the obliques. Top hand on hip. So we're thinking core in, obliques cinching in as this top leg lifts up, and it's staying parallel for now. So you're getting all the way down the outside of your glute and thigh. You'll start to get a little burn through that outer glute now. And we want to really try and keep this bottom leg active as well so that the inner thigh is working hard as well. Good. Here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Lower that leg just for a moment. You may need to shift a little bit along the mat. You're coming onto the toes now of the bottom foot and externally rotating the leg so the heel is pointing up towards the ceiling. Your top leg, is also externally rotating, and we're going in for a développé. So we are unfolding this top leg. You'll point the toe and trace the inner seam of your thigh. Extend, flex the foot, lower down. Again, hand on hip will challenge your stability a little bit more. Try not to let go through the front here. Nice job. Staying lifted on the toes of that bottom foot. So this leg is active as well. Often in side lying, the bottom leg, it's working, but it is just relaxing there to an extent. So here against the wall, we work both legs at the same time, which is a bit of fun. Okay, let's go here for 5, 4, 3, 2, lovely, and 1. Now we have one more exercise on this side, and we do need to bring the hand down for a moment. It's similar to a développé, but we're extending the leg forward and sweeping it back. Not unlike a bicycle leg here as well in this sideline position, but we are allowing that leg to sweep all the way back behind us if possible. So by this leg sweeping forward and back, it's going to really throw off that balance. You could try reaching your top arm towards the ceiling. Give yourself a nice challenge here. Let's do 2 more. That's tricky, that one. And last one. Good job. All right, rest just for a moment. That's a real slow burn, that side burning series. So let's come onto our front now and just shimmy back against the wall. We want our knees to stay nice and bent and wide, almost as wide as the mat. That's a good guide. Feet flexed, heels together, big toes touching the wall at all times. Resting your forehead down on towards the backs of your hands. The upper body stays nice and still. We squeeze the glutes, we lift the knees and the thighs off the mat and slide the big toes along the wall and lower. Squeeze and lower. So you're trying to slide your big toes up that wall and keep your heels glued together as best as possible. It's quite tricky. Press your pubic bone and hip bones down in towards the mat. Lift your core away from the mat and a real big squeeze through that crease between your butt cheek and your hamstring there as you lift up. This is a really effective one for the glutes. You've got a few more here. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, let's try and pulse. So lift up, pulse up, and up. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Wow. After all those glute bridges, I really felt that one. So we're coming into some push-ups from here. Now this position may not work for everyone. The knees are in quite a lot of flexion like this. If that doesn't work for you, just come away from the wall and do a few push-ups in a regular kneeling position. Otherwise, we've got our knees wide, feet together, hands a little wider than shoulder width, a nice plank position through the body. Let's take a nice big inhale and lower down towards the mat, pressing up. Inhale down. Exhale, press. You don't have to come all the way down, just towards your edge here. That's it. Rest when you need. If you've got the energy, push through for another 3, 2, 1. Press up and just step your knees forward for a moment, finding your hands and knees and coming into a cat and cow stretch. Good job. Lovely, just one more. That's it. Now we're rolling over onto the other side. I have to turn my back towards you, but hopefully you can still see me. So coming all the way down, resting your head in your bottom hand. Your bottom foot will be flat against the wall to begin with, about 10 centimeters away from the floor, the joint of the floor on the wall, and the top leg is just above. The foot will be flexed so it doesn't hit the wall as you lift and lower. Now remember here we're trying to keep our hips nice and stacked. Some nice tension between the hip bones as we draw the core back and in and challenge our stability here. Good job. Remember, you can always pop your hand down on the floor in front of you for that extra support. Here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg. Now shift a fraction along the mat so that you can come onto the toes of the bottom foot and turn the heel up towards the ceiling so you've got external rotation through that bottom leg, starting to développé your top leg, pointing the toe, tracing the inside of your bottom leg, extend, flex the foot, lower down with control. Notice if you've rocked your top hip back and your hips are really open towards the ceiling. If that's happening, try and draw your top hip forward so they stay stacked. Good, now you might feel this one is a bit more challenging on the second side because like I said, on the first side, that bottom leg is working quite hard even though it's not really moving. So this top leg has already done quite a bit here. So just give yourself some grace if you are starting to fatigue. Just reset whenever you need to. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Leg lowers. Now we've got our bicycle leg here, so extend your top leg nice and long. Bend the knee, extend forward, out in front. Flex the foot, sweep it all the way back behind you. Bend, extend forward, flex, sweep it back. Try to keep your leg at hip height, that's challenging. Cinch in that top side of your waist. And remember, extend that top arm if you want more of a challenge. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Finish that one off, good job. Lying onto your back. Our glutes are done. So just taking a windscreen wiper motion here with your feet flat on the mat. Deepening through the breath. When you're ready, bring yourself up to seated, however feels good for you. And we're going to do one more exercise here. We're almost there. So come up onto your knees. And we're coming into a little tricep dip. So our hands come up against the wall, shoulder width apart. The closer to the wall you are, the less intense it will be. So find that positioning for yourself. Now we want to bend our elbows and see how close we can tap our elbows towards the wall. And then press back up. Tap and press. Really hug those elbows down towards the floor. See if you can point them down. That's it. Triceps are always intense, no matter what the exercise is, so just take it at your own pace. I don't know about you, but I am sweating up a storm here. Hopefully you're feeling sufficiently worked as well. Let's do 5, 4, 3, this is our last exercise, 2, and final 1. Good job. Now just keep your hands against the wall and round through the spine. Bring your heels back towards your hips back towards your heels. Nice round and arch. It's similar to cat and cow. Just our hands are against the wall. You may be getting a deeper stretch through your shoulders this way. Last one here. And walk your hands down the wall towards the floor. Knees come out wide, feet together, and melting down into your child's pose. Stretch, resting your forehead against the floor. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, release. 2 more, in through the nose. And let go. Last breath in. And exhale all the tension out. Good job. Walk yourself up to seated. Now, feel free to stay on your mat and stretch and move as long as you would like to. Otherwise, we are all done. So well done. I really hope you enjoyed this Wall Pilates workout. I have plenty more and I will link the playlist on the screen. This way, actually. So I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.